For my value argument, I will be talking about the justification of hunting, and I'll be the advocate for this argument. Hunting is the life for many, and by the end of this argument, I will prove that hunting is a justified activity. Hunting is a large part of the environment and how it coexists with many populations, whether that be animal or human. Uh, Today, I will show how conservation by hunters protect the lands, uh, a search for healthy organic food, and a population control of animals are all reasons why hunting is a justified activity. For all my definitions, they were retrieved from Merriam-Webster's.com. My value object for hunting, it says hunting is the pursuing wild game species for food or sport. For my first value, land protection is the care and or land protection is the care and protection for wild lands and animals that live in these areas of land. For my second value is search for healthy organic foods, which organic foods are just foods that lack the use of chemical pesticides or antibiotics, and healthy foods are foods that bring you health with like within your life. And my third value is the control of animal populations. Animal populations are just like the level of which a population of animals exists at and where it's healthy for them to exist at. Next, I will go over my values. So my first value is that hunting should provide protection to the lands. My second value is that hunting should provide humans with healthy organic foods. And my third one is hunting should provide control to animal populations. Now that I've listed my values for this argument, I will get into my main points. So for my first argument, hunting provides protection for lands that people go hunting or fishing, and where they do these activities at. In the article by Nathan Rott, decline in hunters threatens how U.S. pays for conservation, posted March 30th, 2018 on NPR.org, says state wildlife agencies and the country's wildlife conservation system are heavily dependent on sportsmen for funding. Money generated for license fees, excess taxes on guns, ammunition, and angling equipment provide about 60% of the funding for state wildlife agencies, which manage most of the wildlife in the United States. But basically, if people didn't go hunting, then most of the funding for the lands that all these animals live on would decline at a very fast rate. Now that I've talked about that, I will go on to my second argument, which is about healthy or organic foods. So when you go hunting, you get food from the animal that you're pursuing and hunting, and you get food that is organic, which has not been touched by antibiotics or pesticides and stuff like that, because they're not a farmed animal. So in the article, what are the health benefits of wild game on Livestrong.com by Margaret Weatherman, she says the fact that wild game animals eat their natural diet and are very active in the wild contributes to a lower fat content of the meal. Additionally, eating greens in the wild contributes to a lower content of pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids and a higher content of inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. So basically, this just makes it a healthier choice to eat this than a processed meal, because you're not getting all those hormones and antibiotics and steroids, pesticides, all in the foods that you're eating. So next, I will talk about the control of animal populations. So my last main point is that the control of animal populations is really important to the existence of a lot of animal species, to where so they don't go over and have to compete for food or habitat or stuff like that. So in the article, South Texas Wildlife Management Population Control on TPWD.gov, retrieved April 3rd, 2020, it states that in populations where management does not occur, animal numbers will soon build to levels exceeding range carrying capacity, resulting in habitat abuse, starvation, and death. A regulated harvest helps assure that there is plenty of food for the number of animals present on the range. After hearing this argument, you should know that why hunting is a justified activity. Today, I have proven that hunting conservation is mainly accountable to hunters. Hunting for food or organically is a healthier way. And lastly, populations of many wild animals rely on hunting for control. For these reasons, I urge you to vote for hunting.